Serving Amherst and Amherst Township, your hometown television station, Amherst City Cable.
Well, hello, Northeast Ohio sports fans. Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm your host, Ty House, along with El Jefe.
Hey, Greg Haney, glad to be back.
How you doing,
It's
sir?
been a while, I think.
Yes,
it's been
yes.
a good long while.
Welcome to the Super Bowl edition.
Hey, I'm loving it, man.
We're going to talk everything Super Bowl today.
Cool.
From Super Bowl I in 1967. Do you
Yep.
remember 1967 Super Bowl?
I don't remember the Super Bowl. Here's what I remember about it, okay? I go over to my grandpa's house, and they had a color TV. That's how old I am, folks. They had a color TV, okay? And we'd have the Green Bay Packers on, and that's what I remember about it. But I don't remember the first Super Bowl.
Man.
I was around for it. I just don't remember it.
You know, for a long time, I thought the Ice Bowl was the first Super Bowl. I did not know. I mean, well, I guess I did know, but it never really registered that it was the Chiefs and Green Bay in the first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I always just assumed that it was Dallas and Green Bay because that was the more talked about game.
Yeah, well, the first two Super Bowls were, they were blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Chiefs got killed by the Packers won the first two.
Mm-hmm.
They blew
35-10 over the
35-10,
Chiefs.
and then they beat the Raiders.
33-14.
Yeah, so, and it wasn't until Super Bowl III when the Jets shocked the world and beat the Colts that the AFL and the NFL kind of got on even footing.
Ooh, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, you know, I got to ask you, and I haven't been on, who do you like this Sunday?
I'm going to go with Seattle.
Me too.
I mean, with everything that's going on today with the Deflategate, and it just cast a shadow over New England. It's kind of like you're getting a whole other fan base pulling in for them because there's so much going on that I just think Seattle is more focused right now.
Well, you know, another thing, too, we heard this last year. Everybody's like, oh, New England, this and that. We heard the same thing about the Broncos.
Right.
That they're going to come in and
this high-powered offense.
yeah, and we saw how that worked out. That Seattle defense is incredible.
Oh, yes, it is.
I mean, incredible.
Even though they got a few injuries.
Yeah.
Dealing with Earl Thomas with the separated shoulder.
Okay.
And Richard Sherman with
something
wrong with his elbow.
and his arm in the Packers game. Yeah,
so
but
yeah, we're dealing with a few injuries, but like they said, with what they do, outside of Earl Thomas having to make a couple hard tackles, it shouldn't hinder them in the Super Bowl. Both
I'll
of them plan to play.
take Richard Sherman with one arm over just about any other quarterback at full health. He's that good.
Right. It's going to be, but at the same time, New England is New England.
Yeah.
I mean, they can put up some points, and they don't have a bad defense themselves. They definitely can shut down, like I was telling Alex last week, to me, they can shut down your passing game instantly.
Yeah. Well, another thing, too, with Seattle is that defense is great. The offense is
not really a pass-happy offense.
No, and they're opportunistic. I mean, they can score a lot of points, but as a rule, you can shut them down if you play them right. So it should be interesting. I hope it's more interesting than last year's was, because last year's game was not a whole lot of fun to watch.
I definitely see it being more interesting. I mean, from the time that the NFC Championship game ended with, which ended in a dramatic fashion, by the way, which nobody is talking about, you know, due to Deflategate, nobody is talking about the bad coaching decisions from Green Bay's coach, or, you know, he's getting a pass. But, I mean...
Oh, there's nobody in the NFL happier than Mike McCarthy now that this happened. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And then, well, let's talk about Deflategate. How do you feel about...
I mean, honestly, okay, here's the way I look at it. Okay, if they broke the rules, then they broke the rules.
Right.
But really, did it make that big of a difference?
Right.
Let's say for a second that those deflated footballs were good for 21 points. The Colts still would have lost by 20.
Still would have lost.
Yeah, I think it's a whole lot of nothing, really.
One of the things is some rules are put in place that you could deal with breaking. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's only going to cost you a first-round draft pick to win a Super Bowl, you was going to use that first-round draft pick to try to win a Super Bowl.
Name me one team in football right now that wouldn't make the trade-off. We'll take a Super Bowl win for a first-round draft pick.
Easy.
Everybody's going to make that deal.
A couple $25,000?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rule that you'll take your chance breaking.
They lose $25,000 on the couch at NFL teams. Come on.
Easy. But the one thing about it is the Patriots are trying to, you know, the media been all over the Deflategate. But the Patriots are trying to make it seem like it was just the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And, man, y'all been doing that for years.
Well, here's my thing, too, okay? It'd be one thing if the Patriots are the only team that's ever done this with the deflating the footballs, right? You had Aaron Rodgers come on and go, I like to pump them up even higher than they're supposed to be. Everybody does it. They all get the footballs to their liking. So let's quit acting like
it's a rule that's there that, hey, I don't mind breaking this one. It's I'm not going to get suspended.
It's like in baseball. Technically, there's a rule for, like, you have to get a pitch off every 30 seconds.
Right.
Nobody enforces that rule.
See?
You know? I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal. I don't think it made the Patriots beat the Colts in the AFC Championship.
No way.
No, it was more than
New England was the better team.
Definitely.
2 ounces really didn't make that much of a difference. It's just the fact that, okay, guys been doing something. It's New England. You know what I'm saying? And we always, everybody, since Spygate and everything that's been going on with New England, it's always something, and it's like, it's a good story. But that's what I mean. Like, it all started the minute the NFC Championship game was on. Okay, we on to the Super Bowl drama. You know, and that's basically what it's been doing. It's been giving you a soap opera for a whole week. All last week, when we really shouldn't have been talking Super Bowl, we were talking Super Bowl.
But you think about it. Think about it for a second, though. Yeah, it's all we're talking about is Deflategate. But they've managed to take the Super Bowl, which is hyped to high heaven anyway, and made it even more hyped.
Exactly. And that's what the NFL is good at. I mean, with the NFL Network, they keep you intrigued all off season.
Oh, yeah.
They've turned into General Hospital. They are a great soap opera, going to keep you entertained, and that's why we love it. That's why we stay tuned in, and Deflategate is all over the world. I mean, today was the NFL Media Day. Yeah. We had Japanese, we had Russians, we had Chinese. Everybody want to know about the ball being 2 PSIs.
Yeah. Well, and I think I told you guys right before we went on air that they found, I guess they have video footage of one of the ball boys that went into the bathroom for 90 seconds with the bag of footballs.
Wow.
Now, honestly, what can you get done in 90 seconds? You got a bag of footballs this big. Is he really going to go in there and deflate every single one of them by minus 2 pounds in a minute and a half? I'm sorry. I'm just not, that dog don't hunt. I'm sorry.
And then I didn't like Belichick coming out with the explanation, him trying to be a scientist of we deflated the balls in the warmer room, and when we took them outside into the colder air, they maybe deflated that way. Well, how was the balls deflated in Indianapolis when this whole thing? That's what everybody, to me, keep failing to realize is that this was brought to Indianapolis' attention when New England played Indianapolis in Indianapolis earlier this season. Indianapolis player caught the interception. He took it to I want to keep this ball.
Right.
The equipment manager was like, wait a minute, man, this ball field.
Yeah.
And he checked it. It was under. So when they got to the AFC Championship game, the equipment manager went to the referees and was like, hey, man, y'all keep an eye on the balls. That's how all this came about.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
That's how all this came about. So that's what I meant by y'all been doing this for a long time. And you're going to get up there and give this scientific explanation like, so why was the balls deflated in Indianapolis 7 weeks ago, Mr. Belichick?
Yeah, I guess my thing with it is that it's just, they broke the rules. There's no question about it. But, was it that big a deal? I mean, I guess it is in one sense, but it's not in another. But the other thing, too, like I said, if they were the only team doing it, okay, I can see all this outrage. Right. But everybody's doing something with those footballs.
Everybody is trying to find some kind of edge to bend but not break the rules. You know? And that's just to get a competitive edge. Everybody wants to be the champ.
The unfortunate thing is that for the Patriots, here we are again. And here we are again with another specter of cheating hanging over their heads, because it's kind of ruining what I think is one of the greatest runs we've ever seen in the NFL, from when they started to where we are today. I mean, geez.
It's almost 13 years of Patriot dominance.
Yep.
Like, this is their 6th time in the Super Bowl in 13 years.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
that's almost like every other year.
7 times, they were in the AFC Championship game. It's not too many one-and-done New England teams in the past 13 years.
No, and I think they only made it or didn't make it the one time, and that was when Brady was hurt. And they still went 11-5 that year. But, it's just, I don't know.
They're a great team. And
they are, without a doubt.
I mean, when you have great teams, you have haters.
Sure.
You have people that's going to try to dissect everything about that organization to find something. And New England plays their part well. Like I say, Bill Belichick get up there, and I'm Bill Nye, the science guy.
Yeah, that cracked me up. He's part of this whole thing. Yeah.
You got Tom Brady get up there with the Hollywood face, and I didn't do anything. I don't know anything. And then you get the owner, Mr. Kraft.
That was funny.
Super billionaire. They play their part in the drama. Like, we gonna help you build this up. We gonna help you sell this. This whole ordeal. And man, like they say, NFC Championship game. Goodell was watching the game with Robert Kraft at his, in his suite. Like, come on, man, this drama is put together for we is building ratings.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if this Super Bowl is the highest rated one ever.
Ever. We're going to be tuned in. We got the Super Bowl champs.
They're leading. Plus, every newscast, CNN, everybody leading with this story about football. Yeah.
We're going to have to do that, Greg. I really wanted to try it today. I knew we had a football around here.
Yeah, laying over there somewhere.
Something to squeeze it just to see what 2 ounces less feel like.
Makes it easier to throw, I guarantee it.
Got it, especially in the cold.
Yeah.
Got to be.
Yep.
Got to be. You could grip it,
Yep.
And then when you throwing it as hard as them NFL quarterback throw, it's got to be easier to catch. It's
sure.
just a little softer.
Well, you think about it. If that thing's inflated to its full capacity, like it's supposed to be, it's going to be catching a brick out there in that cold weather and that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, man, enough about Deflategate.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about some Super Bowl history. What was your favorite Super Bowl of all time?
Wow, that's a good question. Probably, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. My favorite one of all time was when the 49ers beat the Broncos 55-10 in Super Bowl.
Ooh.
I don't remember what number it was, but it was the 89 49ers because I had gone through 3 years of the Broncos knocking the Browns out.
Mm-hmm.
We had the drive, the fumble, and people forget about the Browns losing again to the Broncos in the 1989 AFC Championship game. I was sick of John Elway and the Denver Broncos. So Super Bowl, whatever it was. 25. Was that what it was?
Yep, 55-10.
Yeah.
1990.
That was probably my favorite, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Favorite Super Bowl have to be Super Bowl, I want to say that's 18?
Okay, which one was it?
The Raiders and the Redskins.
Oh, that was fun, too. I want a six-pack of beer off that game.
That was the Marcus Allen reverse field game.
Yep, that was fun.
That was one of the best games, best Super Bowl. And we even had some awesome Super Bowls.
Well, another one I just thought of, too, was the David Tyree helmet catch game with the Giants and Patriots.
Game too.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl is always pretty.
Early on, it wasn't so good, but over the years, it's gotten a lot better.
I mean, except for when you get the blowouts like you had the Cowboys over the Bills, 52-17. Last year's Super Bowl,
yep.
By the end of the first quarter, they're down 21 points. You're like,
oh man, you knew last year was over when they snapped that first play into the end zone. You were like, yeah, this ain't going to be Denver's day.
We watching commercials.
Another good one was Steelers Cardinals. Santonio Holmes, that last second catch. That's probably the best one just from a watching standpoint.
St. Louis, Tennessee.
Yeah, that was another good one.
That was another great Super Bowl. Came down to the half-inch yard.
St. Louis, New England. First time around, yeah.
Super Bowl has always been. We got to take a break, Greg. We got to take a break. We come back, we can get to some more Super Bowl facts. Cool. And I want to, a little playoff update NBA. This is a sports show. We'll be right back.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year? The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
Welcome back to the sports show. Let's get back to a couple more sports facts so we talk a little bit of NBA. Let's talk about some of the most all-time winning NFL teams. The Ravens have an unblemished record of 2-0.
Yep.
Baltimore Ravens.
The
most wins ever is the Steelers
7, right?
6.
6. It's been there 7 times, won 6.
8. Been there 8
8.
times.
Oh yeah, that's right. They lost to the Cowboys too.
Mm-hmm.
There's
8
no one
times.
defeated, or I shouldn't say that, but anybody with like 3 or more. There's nobody left that's got like 3 or 4-0 anymore, is there?
The Niners are 5-1. The Packers 4-1. Impressive. The Giants are 4-1.
Yeah. You don't think about the Giants as being a 5 Super Bowl team, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But every decade, they done made a visit to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
80s, 90s, 2000s, they done made a trip. And they're running short on time for this decade. I mean,
It might be a few years before they get back.
Yeah, you're right. The Cowboys and the Steelers have both been there 8 times.
Man.
That's a lot of times to the Super Bowl.
Man, who hasn't been there yet? Your Detroit Lions, my Cleveland Browns.
I think those are the only 2 teams that I really don't see on the list.
Jacksonville, I think is the other one. I think everybody
Jacksonville.
else besides those 3, though, right?
Carolina's been there.
Yeah.
Minnesota's 0-4. The Bills 0-4. Eagles 0-2. Bengals 0-2.
Yep.
Everybody else is 0-1. The Chargers has been to the Super Bowl. Oh my
Everybody
God.
but 3 teams, man.
I mean, the reigning Super Bowl champs are the Seattle Seahawks. Like, do they even play football in the Northeast?
No, I guess so.
Northwest? Like, what is going on, man?
I'll tell you what, though, man. I think if they repeat this year, you got to start talking about them as being not of all time, but of this era. That's pretty impressive to be able to do 2 in a row. And
would you say best team of all times, or would you just be basically talking about their defense?
Defense.
Yeah,
that defense is probably the best I've seen since the '85 Bears. That's how good they are.
That Ravens defense.
Ravens, yeah, that's another one. I see, but I always forget them because I got a Ravens bias. But
that Ravens defense.
But yeah.
And I mean, you would definitely have to, because the Steelers defenses too.
Yeah, they were something.
You would definitely have to put them in the conversation, though. I mean, because their defense, depending on how this game turns out, will be the 1-2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
And back to back,
Yep.
there's not many of those defensive teams that can say that they've done that.
Well, not especially when you got the salary cap now. You know, guys leaving. It's rare to keep a team this good together for 2 seasons and go to 2 Super Bowls. That just doesn't happen anymore.
Not just the team, but the coaching staffs. Like now, it's what the Falcons are sitting waiting on their defensive coordinator. Like, we ain't talking to nobody else.
Nope.
We waiting on him win or lose the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And he's a replacement from last year's defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 1 year
That's what happens, though.
He's moved into a head coaching position.
You win the Super Bowl, and everybody wants your coaches. They want your players, and it's tough to keep it together anymore. That's why what New England's done is so impressive.
And they when the team was up and coming, the front office did a good job of signing the younger players to longer term contracts. Where when they did start winning the Super Bowl, it wasn't he's up for free agency. They 2-3 years left on their contracts. Like, wait a minute, they trying to build a dynasty out west?
Yep, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Man?
I figure that the way they're set up right now, they probably got this year maybe 1 more, and then they're going to start losing guys for money and all that. But it's impressive.
Man, this was something else I looked up earlier. Super Bowl 1. The winning team took home $1,205.
What?
No, that's AFC Championship game. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one.
Still.
AFC Championship game in 1960. The winner took home $1,225.
Wow. That's like tip money now. That's like the guy carries your bags in from the bus to the hotel. That's the tip that you get.
We got to go back to 2012 because they don't give us 2013. But the 2012 AFC Championship game, the winning team got $40,000.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what though? In whatever it was, that's a lot of money, $1,200. But still, it seems like a lot. It seems like it should be more than that.
I was listening to on my way to work today. I was listening to a Richard Pryor skit. And he was talking about how he was in jail and his dad had to come bail him out. And he was like, "How much is the bail?" He was like, $10. I was like, "Wow, $10 to get out of jail? Oh my goodness." Okay, here we go. Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl, $15,000 to the Packers, $7,500 to Kansas City.
That's pretty good money back then.
For the
in
Super
the late
Bowl,
'60s, yeah.
We got to go back to I guess that would be, no, that was
Ravens 49ers, right? Yeah.
$88,000 to the Ravens, 44,000 to the 49ers.
So you're guaranteed, if you just show up, you're guaranteed 44 grand.
A bonus.
Wow.
Just for playing in that game.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
About 3 years. It's going to take me about 3 years to get that.
You and me both.
Man, we just picked the wrong sport.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. I mean, like you say, win or lose, you're gonna get a nice little bonus for putting on a spectacular show for the country.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl. I've been around for every single one of them, and it's turned into this thing that it's like you got people. Well, the reason it gets such big ratings, you got people that don't even watch football, watch the Super Bowl. Yeah,
and not even just for the game. A lot of people
commercials, halftime show, the whole thing,
pre-game show, all that. I mean, and then another thing I was watching on NFL, by this being Super Bowl week, NFL Network is they broadcasting a lot of good shows, and I was watching the show the other day. They was talking about the photography of NFL games, Super Bowl games, and they were talking about how it had changed over the years. And something they brung up that kind of grabbed me was, he said he missed the day games.
Yeah.
The day Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense. The one thing that he was showing you pictures, and he was like, you could see the sky. Mm-hmm. And the sky made so much difference on the atmosphere of the game itself that you don't get no more because it's just black.
Well, if you
it's indoors.
If you go back and watch some of the early Super Bowls, those old NFL film things that they do, and it's daytime, and it just the colors are so much
natural
brighter.
light.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really, by us being into TV production and everything, I was really touched by that. Like, wow, I got to looking at the pictures differently. Like, yeah, look how the sunlight is. That's not no man-made. Like, that's God.
Well,
like,
in Super Bowl, I don't remember the number. It was when the Broncos played the Cowboys. It was after the 77 season. That was the first one they had at the Superdome. Mm-hmm. And the guys from NFL Films went in, and they were like, we don't know what we're going to do here because the light's so bad for film cameras. And they had a real tough time getting it together. But now they've got it straightened out, obviously. Wow. But I would love to see them. That's the thing. They could go back to playing it at 1 in the afternoon. People are still going to watch.
Still going to tune in.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Super Bowl don't go. For a Super Bowl to come on, 6:30.
Yeah.
That's 11 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yep.
Most adults are out drinking, watching the Super Bowl, eating chicken wings, kids running around, sneaking, trying to watch the Super Bowl. It's rough, man. I mean, it just makes sense to take it back to...
Well, not only that, but it would just look so much better, too. But that's never going to happen. There's just too much money and too,
prime time spot.
Prime time, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk a little NBA.
Yeah, I'm kind of floored by a couple. We haven't talked NBA in like a year. I'm just blown away by a few of these teams that are... like the Atlanta Hawks, the Golden State Warriors.
What is wrong with those guys?
The
Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, look at these power rankings. There's the first team that you look at that should be there is the Spurs.
Right.
But how'd the Hawks get so good?
You got the Hawks holding the number 1 spot.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the East. And then the next 8 spots are West Coast.
But, like Golden State is on this incredible run this year. Mm-hmm. What came together I know they were pretty good last year, but what happened? What got them to this point this year? What did they do different?
I think the only thing you can really point at, because it's the exact same team, is the coaching.
Okay.
It's the new coach. I mean, it's a Popovich system now. It's the same players. They're playing pretty much the same defensive style that they had with Mark Jackson. It's just more of a pass-happy Greg Popovich.
Well,
offense.
I think you guys were talking about this a couple shows ago where they were like, how many teams in the power rankings?
The Hawks, Golden State, and Memphis, and then the Spurs are number 5 right now.
So you got 4 of the 5 teams in the power rankings that are Popovich-based teams.
Systems.
Yeah, well... Guy knows what he's doing.
It's a European system.
Yeah.
We share the ball. Our bigs will spread you out. Our bigs can shoot, spread you out, and we're going to spread the floor and play good defense.
Hey, it's working.
It's working. I mean, Klay Thompson had 37 points in 1 quarter.
Yeah, I saw that. 1 quarter?
How do you put up 37 points in 1 quarter?
How many threes were involved in that?
He had like 11 threes for the game, but I don't see here on
37
my quick
in
notes,
a quarter?
37. He was 13 for 13 for the quarter.
Wow, not bad, huh?
13 for 13 for the quarter.
Not bad. I just kept giving him the ball, man. Forget passing.
When I first seen 37 points in a quarter, I'm thinking like, this dude had 70. He only ended with 52.
Really?
Yeah.
He must have took his foot off the gas or something because I saw him I thought I misread it. I said 37 points in one quarter.
In one quarter.
Wow.
It's going to be interesting to see him and his fellow Golden State Warrior point guard Curry in a three-point shootout.
Well, Steph Curry is my number one guy on my fantasy basketball team.
He is.
He's something else.
He's a special player.
I got him. I got LaMarcus Aldridge from the Blazers. I got Zach Randolph. A lot of guys from that top 5 there are on my team.
LaMarcus Aldridge impressed me this week because they were saying that he was going to be out indefinitely, almost up to 6 to 7 weeks with that thumb injury, and he played the next game.
Good.
6 to 7 weeks.
I want to ask. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this yet either. But with the Cavs and the whole LeBron thing, is did they get? Is LeBron starting to slow down? Is that what's happening here? Is it just one of those seasons?
I think when LeBron came back to Cleveland, the first thing he said was going to take time.
That's what I said too. I agree. And you could look at that team and know that
they're rolling now. I mean, they made their trades. They didn't wait till the trade deadline. They made some moves. They had been chasing Timothy Mark, whatever his name is, for a minute. I can't pronounce. Yeah. They had been chasing him since they got Bron. And it was like they got him. They looked up and got rid of Deion Waiters, who they had been trying to get rid of, and brung in Shumpert and J.R. Smith. They improved the team. Yeah. And if you got a team like that, it's like, I really don't have to coach.
No.
And it's the same thing happened when we went to Miami the first 2 or 3 months under Spoelstra. They had the superstars. They struggled, you know, getting it together. They were losing games, and everybody, what's going on? But they rolling now.
Well, see, that was my thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, it was a bad move. He's older now. I said, look, when he showed up here, he didn't go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he said it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a time.
We're not ready yet. First thing's out of his mouth. So I wanted to double check with you, make sure that
they had a young team. You know, the core of their players have never even been to the playoffs outside of LeBron. And
Kevin Love's never been there, right?
No.
Yeah.
Kevin Love, and in this system, which we all knew, that was the warning from Chris Bosh. You're going to have to change your game. You're going to have to adapt to playing with LeBron. And he hasn't looked like the same Kevin Love.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when he come to Cleveland, we 26-12. Now you're getting 14-10. That's still a double-double, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. He's still leading the league in double-doubles. And I can't get out of here without mentioning, salute to T. Kimmy, the demise of Kobe Bryant. You know, I mean, Kobe Bryant has made almost $70 million off the Lakers since he tore his Achilles.
Wow.
And he has played less than one season. $70 million. This is like the third year, and they still owe him $25 million for next year.
He should have. I don't know about Kobe. God, one of the greatest players you're ever going to see. But man, is he's just too selfish. You know,
he's egotistical.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I can't hate him for it because that's what we love him for. You know,
yeah, that's what makes him good.
Yeah, that's what makes him good. And it's like he said he's coming back. He said he's going to fight this rotator cuff injury, and he wants to go out.
What'll he be then? He'll be 39, 40 next year.
He'll only be 37.
Oh, wow.
You got to remember, Kobe was one of the last to come out of high school.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school. You know what I'm saying? He came out of the league 17.
That's right, yeah.
He said he wanted to play 20 years. Next year it'd be his 20th year. It'd be 37. Which is really young.
Well, when you think about it, 37 is not old. That's not over the hill, but he's he's a guard though. You can't.
And then when you're Kobe, you've played in 8, 9 NBA championships,
something like that.
That's a whole nother season in itself.
Yeah.
U.S. Olympic Games. You know, he's played a lot.
He's got a lot of miles on him.
A lot of basketball.
A lot of miles. Yep.
But it'd be good to see him come back next year with Randall, their first round pick this year that broke his leg, and he'll be back next year. And I'm sure they'll get a top pick out the draft this year. Yeah. So it'll be good to see him come back and usher in a new talent.
Plus, it's the Lakers. It ain't like they're not going to have a couple dollars to spend in free agency too.
Money.
Yeah.
They got money.
Yeah.
And Bush Jr. said if the Lakers is not back to where they need to be in the next 4 years, then he'll step aside.
Really?
That's what he said.
All right, I'll believe it when I see it. But
we got to get out of here. When we come back, we're going to have a new Super Bowl champ. I want to thank El Jefe, Greg Haney, for joining me today. We'll be back next Tuesday with maybe Greg again. We never know.
I know one thing we're definitely going to have next Tuesday is a repeat Super Bowl champion.
Oh, Look at there. That is a guarantee.
I don't have to come back and defend it next week, so I'm not worried about it.
Thanks for joining us. This has been the Sports Show.
Serving Amherst and Amherst Township, your hometown television station, Amherst City Cable.